Hi, welcome back to the channel. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and let us know the topics that you want to talk about. Green card holders, lawful permanent residents. Now, that category of persons is quite substantial in the United States. The statistics suggest that there are at least 9 million green card holders who are eligible to become citizens. And as we said in a previous video, if you're eligible to become a citizen, go ahead and do so. If you have any kind of issues, of course, check in with an immigration attorney. But today we want to look at the rights and obligations of green card holders, some of which have not really been pushed by the government, some of which have really taken a back seat, and a lot of persons have perhaps even forgotten about them. One of the main issues as it relates to green card holders is that sometimes they move, and when they move from one place to another, one address to another, they do not indicate that to USCIS. They will send the information to the post office, or if the post office is nearby, they will go thinking that USCIS will get that information. That is incorrect. You need to ensure that you submit a change of address form to USCIS and send it in as soon as possible. The law requires that you actually send that in about 10 days after you have changed your address. So it's extremely important that if you have changed your address, you go ahead and you indicate that to USCIS using the form that is available to do that. Secondly, green card holders are actually supposed to carry with them at all times proof of that status. And so you will be walking around with a copy or your green card, in fact, in your possession on your person. That's something that has not really been enforced, but in the current climate, it makes great sense to ensure that you have proof of your green card status. There's actually a fine for not having that proof, but it has not really been enforced. This is a good time to ensure that you have got that proof of U.S. immigration status on your person or nearby. Thirdly, the fact that green card holders must remember that they too have to apply for what is called selective service, except that this relates specifically to men. If you came to the US as a child, you would register when you got a little older. If you came to the US after age 26, you would not register. However, if you are applying for US citizenship, for example, you would see a question on the form as it relates to your selective service number and your selective service status. So what you would do, if you don't remember if you have actually got a selective service number, is to go on the website and input your name, date of birth, and your social security number. And if you are registered, you will see the registration number and a registration letter that you can print and submit along with your naturalization application, if that is what you're doing. If you do not have a registration because you came to the US after the prescribed age, you will get a letter after you input your information to indicate that based on your age, you would not have been in the US at the time, and therefore you would not have such a number. Again, you print that letter and submit it with your documentation. If you are within the age, you would essentially apply for that number and print the document, keep it safe, and also submit it along with your application. Now, These are things that have always been in the law. It is just that sometimes persons don't remember, or sometimes persons think it doesn't apply to them. Remember, it is extremely important to ensure that your rights and obligations as a green card holder, you maintain them, because stating that you didn't know or you weren't sure is not going to be a sufficient answer in certain cases. Remember, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, let us know the topics you want to know about.